what's happening? Welcome to my Wednesday night live stream. So excited to be talking about drums and playing some drums for y'all. I've got a special treat. A few months ago, well, maybe longer than that, it was pre-COVID, I believe, I recorded some drums for a buddy of mine, Stefan Redenbacher, who is a bass player and musician over in the UK. And I met him when I was over there doing some things with Mike Dolbear. So he reached out a while ago and asked me to lay some drums down to a track that he was working on with horns and a full funk band, and it was a lot of fun. I haven't played it since I laid it down about a year ago or more. So he sent me the chart, and I've played through it just a couple times right before we're going live. So I'm going to play for you. I'm going to play this track, and this is called New Feed for the Chicken by Redenbacher's Funkestra Big Funk Band. And this came out on a record, and it just came out pretty recently, I think. And I'm going to have fun and read this chart down. Right now, this chart is so big, it's blocking my side cam. So we'll get to the side cam in just a minute once I play this tune for y'all. But this is going to be fun. And I'm going to talk to y'all about all kinds of stuff we've been up to. It's been a long day. I've been working with Galactic already over at Tips all day today. But I'm just going to play some drums for y'all. We're going to have fun. Nick is here, and he's got his Nick cam all set up and ready to go. And we're going to play some drums for you now. Check this out. New Feed for the Chicken by Stefan Redenbacher. Check it out. All right. There you go. Thanks, Stefan Redenbacher, for writing that tune, having me play drums on it, and then reaching out and saying, hey, man, I see you've been doing Wednesday night streams. What do you think about doing a play along to the tune that I sent you a while ago? I said, sounds great. Sounds good to me. I'm going to turn over here and I'm going to talk to my side cam now that we've moved the chart. So that was super fun. So Nick and I have been in here. We've been doing some sessions for people. And shout out to Leon Toy, who has given us some tunes to do. And Dennis Moore and also Robert Walter. Recently, we did 4 tracks with Robert Walter, and I've been doing some of those as play-alongs, and that's been super fun getting to play with my buddy. And, of course, Joe Ashlar. We did a rendition of Chifuncta last week from Joe Ashlar. So anybody out there who might be thinking about having me lay some drums down to some of your tunes, we are doing that. We're open for business. Just DM me or just hit me up at stantonmorelive@gmail.com. Open for business. We've been filming in here. Big Stan has been helping us edit. He's been coaching us on some of the filming on the front side of things as well. Tanner Gus has been helping us edit as well. So shout out to my drum academy, Stanton Moore Drum Academy, and we've been releasing some new material there. If you haven't checked out the academy yet, we're doing a 14-day trial. Please come check out the academy where I'm teaching drummers what needs to be played so you can get paid. Trying out some of my one-liners. So cool, man. We're having fun through all this. Trying to make the best out of the situation. I've looked at this like as a 1-year sabbatical. We've learned how to stream, and Nick and I have been shedding and showing each other stuff. We've been filming. We released a whole course on shuffles. Everything from enhancing your shuffle, improving your shuffle, the halftime shuffle, the triplet shuffle. Shout out to Jeff Porcaro, one of the masters of the halftime shuffle and the triplet shuffle, and covered some of his stuff in that shuffle course. So go to StantonMoreDrumAcademy.com, sign up for your free 14-day trial, and check out the shuffle course. So yes, all right, Costa Rica, what's happening? So yeah, man, Mike Sturgis, good to see from you. What's up there, Michael Vosbine? I've got my screen up here now so I can see and interact with people. So much fun, so much progress. So things that have been going on, I worked with Galactic today at Tipitina's, and we played a bunch of stuff today. That was super fun. And we have a gig on the books May 24th. And we're all starting to get vaccinated, which is great. And making progress, man. It feels like we're starting to head in a good direction. And that feels awesome. So, as we like to do, what's up, Doug Oscard? Good to hear from you. As we like to do, we like to open things up for discussion. And we like to take some questions. We usually start with some general questions, music questions, Tipitina's questions, stuff like that. And then we start to get into some of the drum questions as we go. Larry Dean Lister, what's up, buddy? All right. So, triplet shuffle, like 12/8, it's very similar to 12/8, yes. So that's a great question, John Lane. All right, so 12/8, slow blues or 12/8 would be like this. And of course, you could elaborate on that all kinds of different ways. But the triplet shuffle that I'm talking about is take Fats Domino, Blue Monday, right? Or Blueberry Hill, I found my thrills, on Blueberry Hills. Now, that's a simple groove, but if you're not used to rocking those triplets at that tempo for 5, 6, 7 minutes, you're going to be in trouble. And I had already had some rudimental facility, and I thought I had some foundational stuff together, and I started playing gigs, and I started getting asked to play these types of grooves, and I didn't have that together, and I had to get it together. And it's when you're playing rudimental stuff, that's all hand to hand, which is great. And I was starting to get into zig style of funk drumming, and that's all hand to hand as well. So these triplet grooves. So then Sly and the Family Stone, Hot Fun in the Summertime, that's very similar groove. And then Jeff Porcaro took that and used that for Hold the Line. So all of these grooves are what I would call the triplet shuffle. That's the straight triplet shuffle, right? All right. Then guys started taking and splitting that up, and Jeff Porcaro in particular would take this and oh man, the Steely Dan tune, "Reelin' in the Years," right? So famously, this is, but that's not Porcaro. That's look that up for me, who that is on "Reelin' in the Years." So, but you're splitting that up, much like you would the Purdy shuffle. Right? But the split up triplet shuffle would be more like this. Right? And then
it was Jim Hodder.
Jim Hodder. I knew that. I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head. Was on Reelin' in the Years, right? And I mean, what an amazing drum performance that is. So the triplet shuffle, since you asked, there's the straight triplet shuffle, which is Fats Domino, Blueberry Hill, Blue Monday, and then Sly and the Family Stone, Hot Fun in the Summertime, and then Jeff Porcaro on Hold the Line. And then Jim Hodder played Reelin' in the Years, split up, right? And then Porcaro, of course, played a bunch of triplet shuffles as well. But I go into that in depth.
So Keith Carlock.
Yeah, and of course, my buddy Keith Carlock is a master of all that. And I don't proclaim to be a master of that stuff. Because I don't play it all the time. But Keith, who's been playing with Steely Dan for years, is the absolute reigning king of those Purdy shuffles and triplet shuffles. He's just, man, so killing at that stuff. But I demonstrate all that stuff in the triplet course. It's all written out and it's all videoed and edited by Nick Solnick over here. Okay. My man, go Nick. All right, cool. So while we're here, let's take some questions. And let me know what y'all might have on your mind, what you might want me to talk about drum-wise. Nick, do you see anything?
Sorry, my Nick cam's not working, so yeah, sorry guys. But there's not really any questions right now, but I have a question for you. My question is, so like I've been listening to a lot because I've been going down this road of listening to Cosmo Matassa recordings from the old R&B days, and I noticed that the snare drums have like a very particular sound. Like, I mean, it's like the cracking wood. You know, they don't have those like big rings and like. What? How do you think they're achieving that sound? You know, was it because of the heads? Like, what was like? Do you know about like the standard dimensions of the snare drums they were using back in that day, and what was the? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Thanks for putting me on the spot, Nick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just I was wondering that on my way over here.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and we're gonna have to investigate some of that because keep in mind. The Fats Domino stuff, the first Fats Domino record, Here Comes the Fat Man, was 1948, I believe, which is before Mylar heads. So they were cranking calf heads. I'm imagining in 1948. It had to have been calf, and they had to have been cranking it, and you're right. Those snare drums are cracking, and that's Earl Palmer on a lot of that. Yeah. So let's do some research in the week, and let's find out like what snare drum maybe he was using. Yeah. Whether it was metal or wood, and what kind of heads they were using. Was he putting a wallet on the head? Let's maybe try to figure some of that out in this coming week.
Yeah, cause I've been like super curious about that, because I record with a band that plays that style of music, and I was recording in a modern setting, with a modern recording studio, and it's just like I couldn't get that sound, I was just like, what are they doing?
What are they doing? Yeah, and there was minimal mics back then. It was a lot of room mics, and I don't profess to be a specialist on how things were recorded back in 1948 and 49, but we're gonna investigate some of that and find out. I read Earl Palmer's book, which was amazing. I got to meet Earl Palmer, which was amazing, but we're gonna try to find out maybe more about what snare drum was he playing in 1948 and what kind of heads did he have on there too. Killer.
Sorry to put you on the spot, bro.
That's all right, man. Hey, look. I don't profess to know everything. That's what I love about all this, is that I learn. I get to learn. So if I don't know, we'll try to find out the answer. That was a great question, man. I like that. All right, let us know if you've got any other questions.
Yeah, man, everybody's digging on this triplet shuffle.
Everybody's digging on the triplet shuffle?
So someone's asking, do you still keep up with your drum corps Marty Hurley stuff?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Way to put me on the spot. I haven't played cadence number 9 in a minute. I don't know if I should try to put myself on the spot. I haven't played it in a minute, but I do. I still shed a lot of rudimental stuff. When I started teaching at LSU, I learned 3 of their cadences. One of them was written by Marty Hurley, Blue Raiders. So I learned 3 of those, and I've memorized them. And I'd have to touch up on them before I want to play them in front of a live audience. But yeah, I do check out. I do work on all that stuff still. I mean, I could try playing number 9.
Dude, just play Blue Devils, man.
What's Blue Devils?
Yeah, the LSU fight song, LSU fight cadence.
Oh, or you mean Blue Raiders?
Blue Raiders, that's it.
Yeah, I would have to remember it, but I might have a better chance of remembering number 9. But I just saw Michael Vosspine posted a question. Somebody says definitely play it. Man, I'd be putting myself on the spot. I'll try it. I haven't done it in a while. All right, but know that I haven't done this in a while. I'm putting myself on the spot. Check it out. I love it. Whew, way to put myself on the spot, man. Damn.
Man,
All right.
here's a good one.
Well, Michael asked a good one. I want to get to Michael's about shuffles, fast shuffles. What did he?
yeah.
I couldn't read it fast enough, and then it went away.
You want me to read it for you? It says,
Yeah.
do you work on fast two-handed shuffles used by a lot of drummers in New Orleans, a la Louis Prima?
Yeah, I mean, and you know the fast two-handed shuffle. There's ways, you know. Of course, I'll play it two-handed shuffle. I'll do that first, and then. Right now, that's a challenge, man. And was that fast enough, Michael? Or you?
Oh Marie is oh Marie, oh Marie, oh Marie.
Yeah, but is he playing that as a two? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let me try it. I'd have to shed that. Man, I don't know, dude. Is he doing that with two hands? So if I would do that this way, check it out. That's what I would do. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. And what that is the ride cymbal pattern in the right hand, and then this in the left. And I love that beat. So check it out. That's what I would do on a fast shuffle like that. Now, you straighten that out, and it's a killer train beat. Right? I love that. So at that tempo, man, I'd have to shed it to get it with the whole two hands. But is that how you do it? You do it with two hands?
Depending on the tune. Some songs sorry. Yeah, some songs the drummer is Bobby. Oh, I can't remember his name, but he ended up being the MD for Elvis Presley.
Oh wow.
But he he's like Oh Marie, and it's a little straighter.
Okay.
It's definitely that straight swing right before rock and roll.
So yeah, so Nick plays in a jump swing band, and you do some of the Louis Prima stuff.
It's all.
Yeah. So that was a good question, Michael.
Make it sweat.
And I don't know, man. I'll have to go back and listen to it, slow it down, and really check it out, and see what he's really doing. But at that tempo, that's what I would do. Is that beat, that groove. Bobby Morse. Yeah. Killer.
I got some good questions here.
Okay, cool.
So drum throne height. What are your thoughts? I mean, he goes on. This is Demetrius. I'm not gonna butcher this last name. Sorry, Demetrius. He just basically. I remember reading you talking about how when you sit higher, it's easier to play softer. And then he says he struggles with it because he used to sit really high. I feel more, but when he's lower, he feels more stable and grounded, but with some disadvantages like leg pain and back pain.
Yeah, for me, and this is an important question, and it's one that is often overlooked, but seat height is super important. I like to have my hips just a little bit above my knees, okay? Now, if I was going to be playing, swinging out and trying to play softer, I might sit just a little higher, right? And set the drums just a little lower, because that way you're kind of dancing on top of the drums, right? So, you know, if I was swinging out, I might set up a little higher and then try to get a little bit more on top of things to where I'm dancing on top of the drums. Then, if I wanted to lay into stuff, I might sit down. I'll just lower my stool a little bit, and I'm going to try to get more parallel to the drums so that I can lay into things and have more impact, right? And of course, I'm switching over to match grip too. So you don't want to have leg pain or back pain. So, you know, you can, I'm sitting a little lower right now and I'm laying into the drums, but you can also sit lower or sit where you're not having back pain and think about playing on top of the drums, playing a little bit more dancing on top of things. So I'm seated now where I would want to have impact, but I'm going to play as if I were seated higher. So I'm imagine if I'm just having back pain, sitting up too high. Now I'm going to play lighter and dance on top of things, even though I'm sitting lower. So it is a little bit of experimentation. There is some involved. Trying to figure out where do you feel comfortable and what kind of playing are you doing? Are you playing lighter or are you playing heavier? And you don't want to be seated in a position where you're causing pain to yourself, right? And it's a constant experimentation. You always have to be kind of figuring out, you know, and our bodies change and adapt as we get older, you know, and we have to adapt and maybe change what we're doing. Can we lose that foot picture in picture?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Beautiful. But that was a good question, Demetrius.
This is a good one. It's from Josh English.
All right, Josh, what's happening? Had a private lesson with Josh a few days ago.
Yeah.
Josh is a new member of the academy.
Yeah, so here, let me see. Hey, it's working. Nice. Hey,
There's
everybody.
the Nick cam.
Hi.
Beautiful.
So Josh was asking, any thoughts on changing textures for bringing the fire in some harder hitting stuff like the Street Sweeper Social Club?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, changing textures to me, that's so much a huge part of drumming, right? I mean, we could take the simplest beat in the world, right? And I'm gonna take this super simple beat. Here we go. Check it out. And this beat, I cover this in my beginner beats and fills, right? Which I'm gonna be offering up as a free course very soon. Right now, the videos are on YouTube, but I'm gonna offer up the whole free course with all the written stuff and the videos coming up very soon. So take a beat like this, right? This is a beginner beat. Check it out. Now I intentionally played it pretty lifeless. So now I'm going to change texture, but I'm going to add accents on the 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 2 and 3. And to me, this is starting to change the texture, right? I'm not changing what I'm playing. I'm just changing the sound of it by accenting those notes. To me, adding those accents really makes that beat start to come alive. Now, changing texture, if I wanted to play that on the floor tom, to me that's changing texture, and all I'm doing is moving my hand from the hi-hat to the floor tom. Now, something heavier, I might go to crashing the 22, right? Check it out. Keep that overhead. I like it. Right? Now, I could play quarter notes on the bell of the ride. Same beat. Changing texture, and this could be funkier. Or funkier yet, put upbeats on the bell. Or open up the hi-hat for something heavier. Right? Now, I don't have a Black Beauty set up right now, but, I mean, this is famously played on the cowbell, and what song is this? Right? I mean, that's Honky Tonk Woman. So, and that's changing the texture, and you totally change the personality of the beat, and it's the same beat, right? So, that's a great question, Josh, and you know, I do this. Oh, great, Kevin Lehman, what's up, buddy? It's great to have you here. So, you know, a lot of what I do is taking the same idea and changing the texture or changing how I'm voicing it, right? So that's a great question, Josh. You can change the texture on stuff and totally apply it to different things. I mean, here's a beat that I played earlier today with Galactic on a tune called Big Whiskers, right? Now, if I were to play that, I'm going to play it on this 20-inch crash ride over here, right? And this would, if I played this in a funk context, it wouldn't work. This is for a heavier context, but it's the same beat, right? I mean, I still was playing it kind of funky, but I could use that for something heavier, right? Shout out to my man Pepper Keenan. Speaking of heavy, my buddy, and yes indeed, King of New Orleans heavy, Pepper Keenan. All right, cool. So, you know, yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff, like if I was playing heavier, I'd be still using vocabulary that's coming from, you know, my jazz and funk vocabulary, just hitting harder and playing on bigger drums, which is changing texture too, right? So cool. Great questions. All right. Do we? You got another question coming in there, Nick?
Yeah, it's kind of, I think, kind of staying on the same subject. In rocker funk, when and how often do you use the snare head only versus the rim/head combination? I guess like a rim shot. I rarely land rim/head, but when I let someone sit in, my sticks come back looking like a beaver chewed them where the rim lands.
Yeah. So that's a really good question. Like, for me, I tend to gravitate towards a throatier kind of snare rim shot, right? To where I'm getting more, give me the overhead, Nick. I'm getting more stick on the head, right? So, and that's kind of, the kind of like where the eye is on Vic Firth. That's kind of where I guess I tend to let the stick hit the rim shot. So it sounds like this. Now, if I were to come back here and get more, I'm going to exaggerate, but listen to how different this sounds. I don't personally like that sound that much, but look, I can put my phone on it and muffle it, and this is going to sound like a different snare. I'm going to take the phone off and then go back to the throaty thing, right? Right now I'm going to get it super high pitched with the stick cocked all the way back like this. Then mid beat, I'm going to take the phone off and change the way the snare sounds just by where I'm placing my rim shot. So, and you'll notice, I hit with velocity, but I'm not trying to overdo it. So sometimes when people sit in, they might be excited and they might be hitting really hard. And, I noticed that when I sit in, I tend to hit harder sometimes just because you're like excited. The adrenaline is rushing through your veins and you're like, oh my God. I mean, you're basically going from zero, sitting out in the crowd, and then you jump on stage and you sit in, and then you're like 0 to 60 and like bam. So, people tend.
It could be a good or bad.
Yeah, it could be a good or bad thing. But I think a natural tendency is to do that. I do it all the time. I sat in with my buddy Derek Freeman's band the other day, out on the street. Soul Brass Band was playing, and I got excited. And I know I was playing loud, but I was having fun. So, people do that. But, and then some people, because they're excited, they may be whacking that rim shot. And that might be why that's happening. So you may want to, have some beater sticks that you hand people when they sit in. Here, use these.
Especially now.
What's that, Nick?
Especially now.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to sit in? Here's the COVID sticks.
Well, yeah. Or nowadays, you should be like, you want to sit in? Bring your own sticks.
Yeah. Right?
We don't need to be passing germs from stick to stick, hand to hand. Cool.
Again, there's not too many. Hey, we just got a question. Hey, Stanton, what exercises can you suggest to help develop new and more creative fills?
That's a great question. So, a really great thing to do with fills is you can play a rhythm with your right hand, okay? And, I could answer this question 1,000 different ways, but here's a great way to get creative with fills. Super easy. Just play a rhythm with your right hand. All right, that's not really a great fill yet. So now what do we do to make that better? Well, you can move it around the drums. Now you could fill it in, right? Fill it in with the left hand. Now, if you have the facility, you could diddle that left hand. All right, I started off buzzing it, then I realized I wanted to diddle it. So let me diddle it. Check it out. Then you could do what Johnny V calls lazy left hand, where you just buzz that left hand. All right, same rhythm. Now I'm going to go up the drums. Then I went back and forth a little bit, right? I could go snare, tom, snare, tom. I put myself on the spot. I missed one and I hit a rim, but I'm just putting myself on the spot. Like, how do you use that same rhythm, right? Just using the right hand and then filling it in different ways, voicing it in different ways, changing the texture, right? So those are all ways to kind of, take a rhythm. And then let's play it now. I'll play it with right? I'll play it hand to hand. And that's the same rhythm that Phil Collins plays on In the Air Tonight, right? And I watched it in slow motion the other day. I think, or at least when he demonstrates it on classic albums, it looks like he's doing hand-to-hand flams, like this. I watched it a bunch of times. I want some other people's opinions. When Questlove played it with the Roots, he played it with one hand. But Phil Collins is playing it with two hands. And I think this is what he's doing. I'm going to play it slow. Do that again. Check it out. Right? And then maybe he's filling it in with the foot. But you could do it. Right? But I think he's going hand to hand flams. Y'all check that out. You can watch it on YouTube. Slow it down to half speed. Watch it. Tell me what y'all think. You always heard it as hand-to-hand flams, Steve Valgoyan. All right, great. I just recently watched it in slow motion and was like, let me figure out what this is for real. And it looks and sounds like hand-to-hand flams to me. So yeah, and these drums they don't sound like his. I don't have them set up for that. But I'm just doing it just for kicks. It's the same amount of toms. But that's the same rhythm. And then you could play it with one hand. You could fill it in. You could play it up the drums. You could play it down the drums. So, cool. Let's see. So I'm reading this from Matt Howard. So he's watching at 1 a.m. in London. That's awesome. I love it. And you're asking, so is your right foot your hi-hat foot? Are you a lefty? Is that the question you're asking? How to keep your left foot on the hi-hat going?
Your left. I guess it's opposite.
Yeah, my left foot. So I get this question from time to time. Johnny V taught me to play eighth notes with my heel. So it would be eighth notes in funk or quarter notes in swing, right? So here I am keeping eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3. And then I just 1 and 2 and 3. And if I was playing funk, right? So, or swinging out 2, 3, 4, a spang, spang, a lang, 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 or and boom, right? So it takes some time developing that, but once you get comfortable with it, just like anything, once it becomes second nature, it's second nature, and it's just there. And that mechanism that helps me keep feeling like I'm in time, Speaking of time, we're getting close to the end of our time. I'll mention, if I can, virtual tip jar is open. Whenever y'all contribute, that is super helpful, and I really appreciate it in this time when we haven't been able to gig or tour. Your support has been much appreciated, and I thank you all very much. I'll mention the Academy one more time, where I'm teaching drummers what needs to be played so you can get paid. So, my 30 years of drumming, gigging, touring, and recording experience, I want to share with other drummers, because I love it when I can help improve someone's groove or help them get better at the drums. That's what I'm doing here in this studio now. So cool.
Hey, what kind of head do you have on your batter side on your bass drum?
That is a Remo Power Stroke 3, which I love. No muss, no fuss, super easy. Also, Rondinette's Power Tone, I think, is the one that he designed with the felt strip built in. Oh, yeah. Which is super cool. Rondinette designed that.
I didn't realize he designed that. Yeah, because I got one of those. They're nice.
Yeah, Ron's a brilliant dude, man. He's designed and
great guy, too.
A lot of stuff.
Super
great
nice guy.
Shout out to Rondinette. This is a wood version I'm playing tonight of my Sono Spirit of New Orleans drum. Ron made this for me. This is a solid ply, a bird's eye maple. Look at how beautiful that is. So people have been asking a lot about the trash crash that is normally in this position. I just mailed it to Zildjian today, so they have a master copy to work off of for a little while, and then they're going to send it back to me. So that is coming out, and that is in the works. I don't want to say when yet, but coming soon. We'll be releasing the Lunar Crash. That's exciting. So much really to be excited about coming up in the near future. Hopefully everybody's been hanging in there during this time. Shout out to Nick Solnick for being my engineer, video and audio, doing the job of 6 people. I appreciate it. We got any more questions coming in?
Looking like just a lot of love.
A lot of love.
A lot of love's coming in.
I love it, man. I love it.
There you go.
I think we're going to start streaming. We're going to start doing some streams from tips starting March 18th.
18th, yeah.
March 18th. We're going to be playing some music coming at you from tips.
Is there any more room in the intensive March 20th?
Josh, that's a great question. I have like just a couple of spots left. Yes, let me mention the intensive.
Links in the description.
The link is in the description. I have just a couple of spots left. I'm doing a 1-day intensive, March 20th. It'll be 4 hours. I mean, it'll be 4 1.5-hour sessions. So it's 8 hours. Well, it's over 8 hours, but it's 6 hours of instruction split up with breaks. And that's on March 20th from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And I'll be covering a whole bunch of grooves that you need to know wherever you are in the world. So we're going to be covering a whole bunch of gigs, a whole bunch of grooves that you'll need to know when you're playing gigs. Killer.
Yeah.
So good question, Josh. Thanks for reminding me to mention the intensive. So cool, man. Exciting stuff. I played drums for a long time today. It's been a long day.
Yeah, I was filming all day.
What's that?
I was filming all day.
Ah, man. What were you filming today?
The Jazz Museum, going through the Louis Prima exhibit, and interviewing the head of the New Orleans Jazz Museum. It was really fascinating. I got to go through the vault and see all of these just ancient trumpets and clarinets. I got to see Dizzy Gillespie's trumpet.
That's awesome.
It's really interesting, like how they made instruments back in the day. Like, it seems so standardized now, but back then it was like that was some handmade, experimental stuff.
Yeah.
It was cool, man. It was a cool thing.
So
and then I got the
Greg?
shot, so now I'm like,
Yeah, I know, right? So was that Greg Lambusi? Yeah.
yeah, Greg, great guy,
Oh,
great guy,
God, he's
drummer.
the
He's a
best.
drummer too.
Greg is a drummer, and I've been doing my camp in person at the Mint every year for the last several years. This year we had to do it online, but shout out to Greg Lambusi for hosting us at the Mint every year for the last several years. And he keeps an eye on the collection over there and curates the museum and the Louisiana Jazz Museum.
Definitely check it out if you're in town.
Yeah.
It's open, so
It's very, very cool.
it's really cool.
Yep, they had a great Professor Longhair exhibit. Is that still there?
I didn't see that exhibit there, but they do have Fats Domino's piano, which is cool. They got Dave Bartholomew's trumpet. Some really great photography, and then they have Drumsville, which you were featured in.
Yeah.
It's actually, I mean, honestly, like I just stay in there because like the videos that they have in Drumsville are super informative. Herlin Riley and Shannon Powell and Uncle Lionel. I mean, super informative. I was just like, oh snap, I didn't know that stuff.
Yeah.
It's really, it's the masters.
Yeah. And all that we're just mentioned is at the New Orleans Jazz Museum. So cool. Kevin says Greg is the bomb. He is the bomb. So cool, man. We're rounding the 7 o'clock. Is it still there? Kevin, I believe it's still there.
Yeah, I was there today. I was checking out Earl Palmer's floor tom.
Yeah, and I've got a 1909 Ludwig bass drum pedal on loan there. I've got one of my first titanium snare drums made by Ron Dinette is on display there.
They have Baby Dodds' drum set.
Yeah, very.
No hi-hat.
Yep, very, very cool. Well,
And James Black.
They got James Black. They got some of James Black's drums there. Beautiful. Well, great, man. This has been awesome. It's been good connecting with some of you. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. And we love coming to y'all live on Wednesdays. Throughout this time, we've learned so much. Please contribute to the virtual tip jar if you can. Come check out the Drum Academy, StantonMooreDrumAcademy.com, where I'm sharing all of my drum knowledge and info on the Academy, filming in here and putting up those lessons and written lessons. So thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're going to say good night.
Thanks, y'all. Take it easy.
See y'all next week. Take care.